What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Today, two popular news anchors have either been fired or have quit. And that is Tucker Carlson, very popular conservative analyst over at Fox News, who seems to have at least parted ways. But CNN host Don Lemon says the TV network has fired him. Now, Tucker Carlson is a very interesting individual. Number one, he's been there for quite some time, as you know, 17 years with the network. He is a voice for most liberal issues, very democratic. Talks about the racism against blacks, although Don Lemon is openly gay in a relationship with a white person. And some people will point to that as, well, okay, he's in an interracial relationship, so how is it that he's always talking so black and sleeping white? Which I'm not even going to deal with because that's not my perspective today, all right? I'm not dealing with Don Lemon being, in the LGBTQ or into interracial relationship, or his views on race and discrimination and his policies on the left and all of those things that for the most part, I don't really like Democratic policies, which he is very pro-Democrat. I won't deal with that because this is the argument today. I want to play the clip that I believe got Don Lemon fired. Let's play that clip.
This whole talk about age makes me uncomfortable. I think it's the wrong road to go down. She says people, politicians or something are not in their prime. Nikki Haley isn't in her prime. Sorry. When a woman is considered to be in her prime in her 20s and 30s and maybe 40s.
What are you talking? Wait.
That's not according to me.
Prime for what?
It depends. I mean, it's just like prime. If you look it up, if you Google when is a woman in her prime, it'll say 20s, 30s, and 40s. I don't necessarily.
40s. Oh, I got another.
I'm not saying
decade.
I agree with that. So I think she has to be careful about saying that politicians aren't in their prime.
We need to qualify. Are you talking about prime for like childbearing, or are you talking about prime for being president?
What the facts are. Google it. Everybody at home. When is a woman in her prime? It says 20s, 30s, and 40s.
So that is the clip. I believe that was the beginning of the end. He was having some problems with ratings and things like this. But I want to read his statement on Twitter, posted earlier today. He says this: I was informed this morning by my agent that I have been terminated by CNN. I am stunned. After 17 years at CNN, I would have thought that someone in management would have had the decency to tell me directly. At no time was I ever given any indication that I would not be able to continue to do the work I have loved at the network. Now, let me just say this because, I want to talk about somebody else on the left that I have a lot more respect for as far as some of his views. That is Mr. Roland Martin. Roland Martin is a brother that has very similar views to Don Lemon as far as race and politics in the Democratic Party and being against Republicans. Roland Martin's an excellent debater. I like what the brother does. But the one thing that is different about Roland Martin, who also worked at CNN, Roland Martin understands the power of black ownership. Ownership. Say it with me. Ownership. Roland Martin does not wait for somebody to tell him that he is fired. And let me just tell you this. Brother Roland Martin has some issues and certain perspectives that I do not like. I don't like the fact that he's so willing to debate even open races on certain things. He says a lot of things that I feel like, Brother Roland, I don't like what you said there. But you know one thing, despite what he has to say, the brother owns what he's doing. How can you be shocked, Brother Don Lemon, did you think that you were special? Somebody owed you something? Everybody knew that your show was tanking. You were getting less numbers. You'd already been demoted from, I believe a particular time slot. So the writing was on the wall. And you don't believe that these people that you thought were your friends had any use for you? What you found out was, and most black folks find this out, that when you really don't have a solution for your career, for yourself, they gonna have a solution for you. Especially when you think that you can just say whatever the hell you want. Brother Roland Martin, I'm here to tell you, you cannot tell white women that they hit the wall. I don't care if it is a Republican. Now, you might be able to play that with Trump here and there, but you're not going to tell no white women they hit the wall. Not on somebody else's payroll, because I don't care if it's Democratic or Republican. You're still a black man. And one thing I want to give a shout to my mother. My mother told me about this today. My mother told me something that was very unique the other day. My mother was born in the early 50s. She's seen a lot in this country. And I mean America. I remember when the Ukraine-Polish war was going on, and I was trying to get back to Poland to do some things. And my mom, who was not so excited about me being in Africa, she said, "Son, I don't want you going back to Poland. Stay in Africa." I said, "Well, Mom, the U.S. Embassy is in Warsaw. Should anything happen to me or happen there, if I'm close to the embassy, I can come back home." She said, "You are still black. You might not even make it to the mother effing embassy, boy. You still a black man. I don't care how much success you had. Undergraduate biology, medical school, doctorate of medicine, top 5% earner. All you need to know, son, is regardless of all of those accolades, you still black. E40 found it the hard way at the Kingdom today. You're still a black man." And I don't know what Don Lemon thought, who he felt owed him something, but as long as you in America, I don't care what you think. I don't care if you heterosexual, if you are bisexual, if you're a homosexual, if you were a black woman, if you were a black man, if you're a black man or a black woman, if you were a white man or a white woman, as long as you are black in America, it will behoove you, as the old folk used to say, you better do your best to have your own stuff. Ain't we find out about Jonathan Majors? If you can go on your own, go on your own. Okay? Go on your own. Go on your own. Okay? That's why you're seeing people, although I think Whitlock is also not really on his own, Jason Whitlock, but you're seeing Roland Martin is the best example. Folk like Tariq Nasheed is a good example. African Diaspora is a good example. Phil Scott. Go get your own money. You want to have your views? Boyce Watkins. Boyce Watkins was teaching in all kind of... Boyce Watkins, and you know I don't really care for Boyce on some of the points. The brother Boyce gets on my nerves. I'm gonna be real. Brother Boyce be simping it up. He is dusting it up. But one thing I like about Boyce, although he has one of the most terrible YouTube platforms I've seen in my life, he owns what he do. He owns what he does. And for that, I'm proud of Brother Boyce, even though I do not agree with all that simping and lying that some of the brother does some of the time on some of his stoves, in my opinion. This is my opinion. Don't make it true. It's my opinion. But they both got terminated. At least Turk Carlson got more money, I believe, than Don Lemon. Black men, get yourself together. Try to be as independent as you can. As you can. This is why I try to tell you to work with your people. Y'all get mad at me when I say that. Work with your people. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe to the bell. We're out.